So glad you're here. Let's start.
Well, hello everyone. It's Julie Halston, and this is Virtual Halston, Season 2, Episode 20. And I am so excited. My guests today, they are very dear friends of mine. I've known them for years. They're superior talents, superior humans, Edward Hibbard and Harriet Harris. Now, here's a sentence you're never, ever going to hear. Edward Hibbard, he's rather dull, isn't he? You're never going to hear that sentence. Here's another sentence you're never going to hear. Harriet Harris, she wasn't very good in that, was she? No, never going to hear that, because she's always brilliant. Anyway, there's a lot to get to today. We have some announcements. We have a lot to go through. So I'm just going to bring on my dear friend, my partner in crime, and someone you always want to see, Jim Caruso. Jim Caruso, come in, darling.
I like that. Someone you always want to see. Is that even true? I don't know.
I think it is.
Well, okay. Then I'll go with that.
Yes,
How are you, Julie Lynn?
Well, darling, I love that we're visions in red.
You said you were going to wear something red, and so I thought I'd mirror you.
You. Well, I love a mirror. You know,
Yeah.
we're very Marcel.
Well, I look like a picnic basket waiting to happen, but you know, and what's happening? It's like 34 degrees in New York City.
It was 70 or
This
82.
is what I'm saying.
It was 82 the other day. Remember, it was 82, and we were on with Lucy Arnaz, and it was actually warmer here in New York.
Yeah.
She was cooking a roast.
I know, in Palm Springs.
In Palm Springs.
I know. I know. And now it's freezing again. Now it's Christmas. Now we're in red.
And now we're in red. Yes, I look like I'm doing a cabaret show holiday, right?
That's a good idea. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Is it Christmas again? It might be Christmas again. Who knows?
It might be Christmas in July. But Jim, I do have actually a very serious question for you.
Oh.
What's happening? Because, you know, they're opening venues up. What's happening with our dear Birdland? Do we know?
Well, that's a good question. I think we can legally open for 50% at this point, 50% of a house. But he tried opening for 25% of a house in December. And that's for him, a big waste of time. You order in all of this food, all of this liquor, and it all goes to waste.
Right.
So I think he's going to wait a bit longer for summer when we feel more people are vaccinated and they'll feel like getting out and the performers will feel, safe. And I'm thinking June or July. That's what Johnny Valenti, the owner, is telling me.
Okay, well, that's not that far away, and it does mean that I should be looking into purchasing a new summer outfit.
Oh yeah, and I need to start doing sit-ups because I can't wear pants at this point.
Okay,
I should.
Yeah, you should. It's time. It's time.
It's a rule.
Sweatpants the whole time.
Wow, you make them sound nice. Sweatpants. There's been some elastic in my life. Yeah, I'll say it.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. I Elastic and Jim Caruso. I've never put that together. Never.
All you need to see is this.
Well, no.
Look.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Now we have to. I think we need to bring Ruby in because let's face it, Jim. You just had a very big 1-year anniversary of Jim Caruso's pajama cast party.
I did.
And she was the host.
She was. It was so fun. I told her, well, we can bring her out. Why don't you bring her out?
Let's bring her. Ruby.
Oh, Ruby.
Oh, Jim. Oh, Julie. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
We have our shtick.
Let's talk about it. You, can we say, produced and curated and hosted the one you curated. I like just saying that word. I like saying that somebody's curating something.
Well, it sounds very fancy.
It's very fancy. but you really did curate the Jim Caruso's Pajama Cast Party. Jim, you didn't really know much about it, right? I mean,
no, I knew nothing about it.
Yeah, Jim knew nothing.
I said to Ruby, a few months ago, on our 1-year anniversary, why don't you do it? You book it. Basically, I was tired of booking 51 shows. But I thought it would be so fun if she would take care of it, and she would kind of co-host with me. I didn't mean to do that for co-host, because she literally co-hosted with me. And she killed it.
Killed it.
It was like a network, variety show. It was as good as it gets.
It really was. And I loved doing the opening.
Yeah.
Julie, I knew when I first was allowed to take over, I knew that I wanted to create a new intro for the 1-year show. And usually the open that we have for Pajama Cast Party, Billy Stritch does the voiceover. And so I thought we need to do a female duo now. So I called Julie and I said, I'm filming this thing. It's campy. It's ridiculous. Will you please do the voiceover? And you sent it to me like the next day.
Darling,
when you think of campy and ridiculous. There you go.
I wasn't calling you campy and ridiculous. I was calling myself campy and ridiculous because I was just having fun with it all. And I think that's why.
It was great.
Yeah, thank you, Jim, for saying that. I think that's why it went so well, is because we were just having fun.
It was so fun. But I have to say my favorite moment was I was talking to Ruby on camera like this, and she said, "Oh, Jim, there's someone at your door." And like split second later, my front door knocked. There was a knock at the door. No, nobody knocks on my door because I live in a building with a door person. No, people aren't roaming the halls knocking on doors. So that was weird. So I had to get up from my television series and go answer the door. And it was great Broadway performer, Robbie Fairchild, who was the lead in American in Paris and Tony nominated and stuff. He's now created this incredible flower company where he puts these incredible, oh, look, there I am. I'm in my pajamas. That's not the same shirt I have on, by the way. Okay. Those are pajamas because Pajama Cast Party. And he brought these incredible flowers for me, but that was random, out of the blue, just a Ruby surprise.
But it was so wonderful. And now you can actually go on his website for his floral shop and get the Caruso. Isn't it called the Caruso?
Yes, and he's doing a nice thing with it. He's giving a portion of whatever he makes to the Actors Fund, which we always, they're our organization of choice.
Yes, it's
money to each week.
It's fantastic. And I loved when Squigs had you guys draw each other. That was so fun. And
we had an art lesson. We had a Zumba class. We had singers. We had pop-in messages from cast party regulars and Broadway favorites. It was a little bit of everything. I just really tried to do everything that was not expected because I couldn't believe that Jim was okay with being kept completely in the dark.
And so I was good. I didn't ask. I didn't cheat. I have to.
The only time that I was like, ooh, I think maybe he's a little nervous and doesn't know what to expect is the night before. I had confirmed with all the talent, everything was fine and squared away. And I got an email from Jim saying, you might want to check in with the talent. Here's a little email template. And I just sent him back an email and said, I got it. So,
I know. It's not that I was nervous. It's just weird to not be in control of your own show. It's like, oh, God.
But you did great.
Sweat through those pajamas, let me tell you.
No, it was just fantastic. I was so impressed, too, Ruby, with the talent. Julie Nightel just knocked me out. Of course, Colleen Ballinger, just so great and so funny and so giving. And just everyone was wonderful. It was a wonderful, wonderful. And I love the idea of your 50-second show, and people gave denominations of $52 or $520 or whatever it was, $5.20, whatever it was. It was just a clever, wonderful, wonderful show.
It was absolutely brilliantly put together, brilliantly produced by Ruby.
Thank
And
you.
I was so appreciative and so thrilled, really thrilled.
Yeah. No.
Well, I'm
And-
so glad it went well. And I have to say, though, I do have to give a shout out to Liz Paley, who helped organize it all. She helped me steal one of Jim's sweater vests so that I could put it on at the beginning of the show and dress like Jim. That was a good surprise. I thought
that was so weird.
Yeah.
Well, Jim had the greatest look of just.
Why are you wearing my clothing?
That was his clothing.
Well, we're very involved with gender fluidity.
Evidently.
Well, I just thought, I needed to kind of become Jim, even if it was just for a few moments. And we already have the matching glasses, so I just needed a sweater to complete it.
There you
That's
go.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Now, Jim, Ruby, we
Yeah.
have an announcement, and it's kind of a little touching, a little like I might get a little teary. We're asking our viewers to be patient. We have Harriet Harris and Edward Hibbard today. Next week, it's going to be the three of us. We're going to do our favorite moments show. There we are. Now, why are we doing our favorite moments? We're doing our favorite moments because Miss Halston has to go on hiatus. We've all heard about these hiatus situations. I actually got a job.
What?
I know.
In show business?
In show business.
Lucky.
I know, it's crazy. So I'm asking your patience, viewers, your wonderful, loyal viewers. I am going to be doing the play, It's Only a Play by Terrence McNally. And we're actually doing it like a play. We're actually going into a studio. My wonderful, dear Tootsie cohort, Andy Grodelution, is part of it. Ann Harada is part of it. We've got an extraordinary cast. Kevin Cahoon, the wonderful actor, is now going to be directing us. And we're going to be filming it at the George Street Playhouse. So I will be indisposed. I will not be able to do Virtual Halston for about a month. But have no fear. We will return in some fashion. But I just wanted to let you know that next week's show will be the last show until at least May 17th. So
then we'll be coming to the audience's homes.
That's our next venture. Yes.
It's it's Virtual Halston season 3. Yeah, I feel like that's. I feel like that's the only way to surprise.
Turn out the lights. It's that Halston lady.
It's that Halston lady. She's wearing cabaret clothes again. But wait, I also, what we're going to ask people is for next week, please send me an email. Tell us your favorite moments from season 1 or season 2.
Yeah.
Just send me a little email saying, oh, I loved it when Bill Irwin. Oh, I loved it when Lewis Black. Oh, I loved it when, I don't know, Jim wore drag. I don't know, whatever it was.
Did I miss that?
Well, we showed a picture of you in drag, Jim.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Well, from 1980. Thank you.
Okay, but it might have been someone's favorite moment. So please, viewers, and I would like to take this moment to do a special shout out to the most generous couple in the world, Belinda Wright and Laura Scott. I love you guys so much. I can't tell you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Please come back. Oh, there she is. There she is. Look, Belinda Wright. Wow. Congratulations, Julie. Fab news will wait. Thank you. Thank you to all my viewers. I will be back. So that's our big news. And Ruby, you are just the hardest working, most beautiful tech person in the world, director and producer working today. And bye, Ruby.
Bye.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, darling, there's a lot going on, isn't there?
There's a lot going on, but we have a great show today.
We have a great show, and I think we have to bring them on. I mean, people want to see them.
Well, you should say why we do this.
Thank you. We do
You're
this
welcome.
because we love entertaining you.
Really?
We also do this to pay for the platforms. And we always give a portion to the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation. Again, the most loyal viewers. They've been so generous to us all this year. And I know, in fact, I just sent another check last week to the PFF. I am so grateful to all of you. That's why we do this. And we want to entertain you. We want to keep you entertained. We're still in a global pandemic.
Still.
It's not over yet. So we have to, keep us effusive and light and positive. So let's bring on our guest, Jim. Yes. I think a lot of people know these two from Frasier, the television hit from, a little bit of yesteryear, but you also might know them from their many off-Broadway, Broadway performances, their many TV appearances, film appearances. They've worked together. They've worked apart. I know them for decades, and they're just superior talents and superior humans. Let's bring them on, Edward Hibbard and Harriet Harris.
Hello. Good evening.
Hello, Harriet. Well, Harriet's a blank right now, but there she is.
There she is. Hi, darling.
Darlings, how are you? Edward,
I'm trying. I'm trying to get there.
Edward, you're in New York?
Am I what, darling?
Are you in New York?
I am, I'm afraid.
Okay. And Harriet, where are you, darling? Wait, she's laughing. Harriet, where are you?
In California, in my
California.
living room.
Now, weren't
Yes.
you in the wilds of
California.
Vermont or something?
In my living room.
Oh, in your living room. But weren't you at one point in the wilds of Vermont?
Much of the pandemic. No, not Vermont, but yes, we were in the woods.
You were in the woods.
I had to vote, so I came home.
But wasn't there
Can you not
wasn't
hear
it
me?
like frontiersmen? Like, weren't you like in
Oh,
Jeremiah?
dear, I'm breaking up. Is that right?
Oh, can we, maybe we should ask Ruby to, okay. Edward, I'm going to talk to you.
I'm on it, Julie. I'm on it. I'm here.
It was wonderful.
It's perfectly all right. Darling, did you know that she was in the woods, the deep woods somewhere?
Harriet,
Yes.
I did. Well, I haven't been to these woods, but I do know she has a home there. I'm waiting for the formal invitation. But I hear there are bears lurking around, so I'm keeping a distance.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we might want to all just meet in New York, darling.
I think so. A small cocktail and a alfresco dinner.
Yeah, with a darling cup. Now, sweetheart, I know you were born on Long Island. As
Yes,
you
it's
know,
correct.
I was. What town?
Kew Gardens in Queens.
Oh,
Can't you tell from this accent? I know.
no, and then how long were you in Kew Gardens?
Well, long enough to get this accent done. Actually, I was there probably about a year and a half. My dad was doing a show on Broadway with an unknown girl called Julie Andrews. And I think I was then whisked away on a first national tour and then taken back to England, where I got these vowels. Can you imagine if I'd stayed in Queens, how I'd sound now?
Well, you might have been on the King of Queens, but whatever. No,
Yeah,
it's
or the
so much-
nanny.
Yeah, well, exactly. But it's so much better. And I do have a picture of your dad, Jeffrey. Is it Jeffrey?
There oh my God, that's him.
That's him. And look, I think I see a lot of you in him, darling.
Yes, I wasn't adopted, was I?
No, you really weren't. Now, was
He
your
was a sort
mother
of child star. He did movies when he was very, very young. Love on the all these movies that get shown like at 4 o'clock in the morning. But no, he made a lot of movies.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
And you went to RADA.
I did.
Yes. Did you enjoy your time at the Royal Academy of Drama?
I think I did. People love to hear bad things about RADA. I loved it because it was a short course. I mean, these drama schools where they go on for like 7 or 8 months, I want to go, for God's sake, you don't learn how to do it. What you learn is when you get out of RADA and you are blessed, as I was, to go to the Festival Theatre in Chichester and work alongside Maggie Smith, Joan Plowright, Paul Eddington, and Alec Guinness. Thank you. That's a big bouquet.
Yeah, no, that must have been amazing. But then you did come in, was it in the 80s you came to America?
Well, yes, a bad start, I fear.
What happened?
Well, it was a joy to work with the great Eva Gallienne, but my first job was a Broadway major disaster, Alice in Wonderland, in which I played the Griffon. And I can't begin to tell you, it was just torture, really. Lovely actors and Eva Gallienne playing the White Queen, but, nobody really cared. And we were all, I was dressed in a sort of polystyrene turtle outfit. It wasn't pretty, I have to tell you. Thank God I'm not claustrophobic.
No, that sounds like a nightmare. Who directed this production?
Eva Gallienne.
Oh, she did direct it. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. But you got on with her well, I would imagine.
Oh, I loved her.
Yeah.
I loved her. She was a great sort of theatre royalty, what's not to love?
Of course.
I think I've been very lucky when I think about the theatre royalty who I rubbed shoulders with. I hate to drop names, darling, even with you, but there's Maggie Smith and Alec Guinness and Elaine Stritch. There they all are.
Well, we need a Maggie Smith story, and I was just going to ask you for an Elaine Stritch story because I know I've seen you many times with Elaine,
yes,
and you have many Elaine stories.
Well, I'll just do best friends, and I was very honored to become her sort of, escort. And I'd see little white cards on the table saying guest of Elaine Stritch, because nobody knew who I was. And there was an evening when she invited me to go, who didn't say no to this, to Edward Albee's Christmas party in Soho. It's freezing cold. We get down there. It's a beautiful apartment and a very eclectic cast list. Irene Worth, Betty Bacall, several men in full leather. It was a totally dazzling event. And I suddenly thought, oh my God, it's freezing cold. And it's Elaine Stritch, and I haven't arranged a car service to bring us back to Midtown. My stomach lurches, and we're outside, and it's freezing, and she's very upset. I can see her breath is angry. It's just wafting out.
Well, Elaine was always angry, darling.
She was very angry, and finally, I thought sometimes, what does Blanche Dubois say? Sometimes there's God so quickly or whatever. There, parked with a yellow light on, thank the Lord, was a yellow cab, light on, and a charming Indian driver with music wafting out of the taxi. And I ran to get in. And we get in, and she's rummaging around, and he turns around with the most charming, charming smile and says, I only hope the music I am playing is as lovely to your ears as it is to mine. And Elaine, who's rummaging through a Bloomingdale shopping bag, turns around and goes, listen, honey, you drive the cab, we'll tell the jokes.
Oh my God.
I've used that line in many places, restaurants, banks, whatever. But isn't that a great line?
Oh my God.
You drive the cab, we'll tell the jokes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, I think we have Harriet back on. Wait, where's Harriet? Where are you, darling? Yes. Here's Harriet. She's coming back on. Well, she was. We'll tell the jokes. Oh, well, we don't have Harriet. And Maggie Smith,
Meanwhile, yes, talking of Maggie Smith, she's very keen to go and see Eugene O'Neill's classic play, which is playing in the West End with Jessica Lange. And she went, I'll call you and leave a message when we're going to go. And I played this message 3,000 times. I learnt it like a monologue. When I get a voice just going, Edward, it's Mags. So it was sorted out for next Tuesday, 7 o'clock on Tuesday for a long day's journey. And oh Christ, just saying the title makes me tired. Doesn't
Oh
get
my
better,
God.
does it?
Well, now, darling, you obviously, and when we get Harriet back, we'll of course talk to her
We
about
hope
it.
we get Harriet back.
Well, we have to get Harriet back. You were both on Frasier,
We were.
which
We
is
met
so great.
doing
And
Paul with Jeffrey, and then from there we were transported to Los Angeles, where God bless Jeff Greenberg, the casting director. He started throwing beautiful crumbs at us. Harriet first playing BB,
yes.
and then me playing Gil Chesterton, the food critic.
Let me ask you this, darling. Did you know Harriet before Jeffrey? Had you been aware of her work?
By reputation, but not socially.
And she only knew you by reputation. You had never known each other
Well,
socially.
you'll have to ask. I suppose she may have done. We have a lot of close friends in common. And, but I think the friendship really solidified once we got into Frasier. We did a lot of things together. We did Frasier. We did an unspeakable sitcom, which will remain nameless. And then we did, which was wonderful, and it's his birthday boy today, Brian Hargrove.
Yes, we wanted to do a shout out to Brian Hargrove.
Happy birthday, Brian. It should have been you, directed by David Hyde Pierce. So it was all, full company.
No, it was wonderful. And when you were doing Jeffrey, 2 weeks ago, we had Paul Rudnick on the show.
I saw it. It was wonderful.
Yes. And he was talking about how he just loved, of course, working with you and Harriet. And so it was all sort of, it's all a circular kind of thing. I think Ruby is actually on the line with Harriet now. But I just want to say, please consider tipping us. If you're enjoying our conversation with Edward Hibbard, please consider tipping us. There you are, PayPal and Venmo. Again, we pay for the platforms and we pay to entertain you. And we also, give a portion to the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation, of which you've attended, Edward.
I have.
Yes.
I gave money to.
Yes, you have. It's been so wonderful. Now, let me ask you this. Your dad was an actor.
Yep.
Was your mother in the business as well?
She was, bless her. We made her go back to it. She was an actor who was doing shows, and then she stopped. And then sadly, she died very young.
Oh,
and
dear.
I said to mother, who was beautiful, come on, get back to it. So she did. She came back and did the odd play. And then she was gone. Orphans that I am. A middle-aged orphan, darling.
No, I understand. But did you ever consider doing anything else, Edward?
Well, now I do, given the last year of one's life.
Yes, yes.
I'd like to teach African children the art of Noel Coward. That's what I'd like to do. It's my plan to do something rather adventurous like that. I wouldn't mind teaching. It's so hard now. And with this year we've gone through, all of us, you live up the road from me, it's ghost town. You walk past the theaters, you could weep. And I don't see any, I'm sorry to be Scrooge-ish or pessimistic, I don't see much hope of anything coming back very quickly.
Well, I guess outside, but again, that depends on the weather. But they are talking about a Shakespeare in the Park, correct? Aren't they?
Yes.
Yes. I'm not looking forward to the idea of wearing a mask on, to do a show. We have Harriet back. So yes, let's see if we have Harriet back. Oh, there she is. Harriet, you're back.
I'm trying to put books now under because my tripod doesn't fit my iPad. It's lovely to be here, Julie. I'm having a wonderful time. Gosh.
Darling, you look wonderful.
Yeah,
I'm going to
rather hot and bothered now. Hi.
No, you look terrific. You look absolutely terrific. I want to bring in Ruby. I hope Ruby is all settled back in now. Ruby, I know there's a picture of the glorious
I still have
Harriet
some
Harris.
mopping up of this thing to do. I go, all right, let's commence. I'm happy. I've loved the conversation so far. Oh my God.
I think Harriet's on ecstasy, don't you? Harriet, is she on ecstasy? No, darling, you're fine. Just steady. You're fine.
I can't hold it like this forever. I can't hold it. I gotta get out and pop this up.
Oh, jeez.
And I thought I was the big technophobe around here.
No, I do. Okay, there you are.
Here I am.
All right, there you are.
Yeah, it's gonna be lovely. It's gonna be so worth it.
No,
Yeah.
it is all worth it, darling. I have a picture of you, my darling, when you were Billy in George Abbott's Broadway.
Oh,
Oh my God, it's the cutest picture in the world. I think this is one of your big leading roles when you were in the acting company.
yes, it was.
Because before that, you said that you were always playing boy soldiers.
I played a lot of Boy Scout soldiers. I played old women. I played old peasant woman #1 and #2.
Oh, there you are.
Mother
That was
Courage.
wonderful.
I was
Harriet,
studying a lot.
you were absolutely gorgeous. Can you tell us, was the acting company,
Paul
you
Huntley
stayed with it
Williams.
for 3 years, was it a very helpful, I would imagine, as for your growth as an artist?
I heard artist. I heard growth as an
Did
artist.
it help
and I
you?
think
Did
of
it
me
help?
when
Did it
say
help
those
you a
words.
lot did it help you a lot to really grow as an artist?
The acting company?
Yes.
Yeah, it was fantastic because I got to see really a lot of people who were almost my age, and had similar training, doing great roles and doing terrific work and testing the limits of what it's like to be in this size theater or that size theater. And I got to be outside a school situation and watch and learn and keep learning. And then I grew into other roles. I wasn't the perfect ingenue, so it was good for me to get a little age on me anyway. And I loved watching the other performers. So.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Oh, I
There's
can
so
hear you
many
a lot better now.
Yes, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
You're no longer on ecstasy. You're now on just gummies.
Yeah.
Yes. No, you look great, honey. I was just saying to Edward, obviously the two of you were in Jeffrey, but then you were both on the wonderful television series, the hit series, Frasier. And we did a shout out to Brian Hargrove because it's his birthday today, by the way.
And
yes.
It's, I think, tomorrow.
Yes. But let's bring on just, you were BB and Edward was Gil. And there you are as BB. And there's, oh my, look at that picture of you, Edward.
Very controversial, that scene.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But I hear, now this is rumor, that there may be a Frasier reboot. Are you sworn to see
this? We've heard it for a long time, haven't we, Harriet?
Yeah, and I hope they do it.
I do too.
I think for the audiences, it would be a lovely thing to see, and I wonder how they can do it. I wonder what kind of life he'll be having, and I guess he would have to have made some kind of progress as a person, and what he'll be doing. So I can't imagine actually, but I haven't heard any details about it.
Maybe he's now producing RuPaul's Drag Race.
Well, I thought he might be doing that. That would be a lot more fun than working with marginalized communities, possibly as a therapist. I don't know which would be better for Frasier, but I know, he would.
What is quite extraordinary is that show was loved across the board by everybody. I mean, it was smart, sophisticated, funny, and I have yet to meet anybody who didn't really get it or love it. So that's always a heartwarming thing to remember. And even watching it now on reruns, I still find myself laughing out loud at some of those lines.
It was a brilliant show with brilliant characters, but it also had heart. And it was smart. And, smart with heart come on, it's a winning combination.
Yeah.
So yes.
I think
And-
about one of Edward's lines all the time whenever anybody gets sick, because you think, oh, I'm going to bring them some chicken soup. I'll bring them some chicken soup. And Edward did that in one of the episodes, and he said, chicken soup so lovingly prepared, even the chicken gets well.
My favorite line of yours was, I've been to hell so many times, I've got frequent flyer miles. Was that the line?
It was it's informed by life experience. That's why it was so deeply felt.
Now I remember, Harriet, I was actually in Europe when you won your Tony Award for Best Featured Actress in a Musical for Thoroughly Modern Millie. And I think we have actually a picture of you holding your Tony. Yes, look at you. Look how beautiful you are. And I remember during your speech, you talked about Mcgann Robinson, who was a dear friend of ours. And any chance I can to bring up Mcgann Robinson, I always do. Mcgann was one of the original members of there she is. Look at how beautiful she is.
That's my photograph of her.
Yes, it is. Yes, with her lobster earrings, darling.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, Mcgann was not only Harriet's dearest friend, but she was in the theater company that Charles Busch and I and Ken Elliott founded. And she was in the original company of Vampire Lesbians of Sodom, and was such a brilliant actress. And I remember, Harriet, meeting you through Mcgann. And I remember meeting you on the street. And I remember between Mcgann and a chopstick in her hair, and you with your beautiful voice, I thought, oh boy, those are the two most alluring creatures in New York City. I better develop something quick. I better develop a personality quick. But it really was, she was really quite extraordinary and such an original. And she really changed, I think, a lot of people's lives in many ways. There she is that's with Charles Busch.
Yeah.
Look
Those
at her.
shows were so great. They were so wonderful. And he had people in those companies that really knew how to do just the right thing, and bring so much of themselves and bring so much of their own brilliance. And Charles was just never threatened by that. He didn't have to be, And
right.
It was great to see. It was great to see those plays every time.
Well, I always, I haven't really talked about it on this show, but it was really Mcgann, who passed away in 1990. She was the one who really begged me, and she did beg me. Because I was, Harriet, I was working on Wall Street. I was a sometime actress, sometime this, sometime, I wasn't really focused. I really was a little untethered. And Mcgann was the one who said, I am begging you to commit to being an actress. And I basically promised her that I would be an actress, and I did. And every time I start a new role, particularly when I'm on the stage, I always look up and I give a little sign to Mcgann. And I really do feel she watches over me. So I just wanted to let the world know about her.
Yeah, she had a great appreciation way before she got sick that life was short. And she really did make the most of almost every moment, I feel like. And she had a broad scope of what she wanted to accomplish. And I remember saying that she said something like, I know exactly how I want to dress this year. And I thought, who even thinks about that? And then she described how she was going to dress. And it was not like anybody else. And then she went out and she found the clothes. But it wasn't sort of like, oh, this would look good on me. She just had the vision of what she wanted. And like she did with you, of saying, grab your vision, do that thing. Yes.
And she did. And it influenced my life immeasurably and exponentially. Now, the two of you did the Daryl Roth production of It Should Have Been You. and directed, of course, by your Frasier colleague, David Hyde Pierce. I think we have some pictures of you there. Oh, look at you, Harriet. Oh, those Tyne Daly and Sierra. And there you are, Edward. I had so much fun at that show. I think I saw it twice. I laughed so hard. Were those roles written for you in mind? Were you part of the creative process? I mean, how did that all go down? Did Brian write them with you in mind?
I think he did. I did the first reading, and my part didn't change ever so much. And he did say, "I wrote this for you," but you never, I've heard people say that before, and then you find out it's not true. So, but he said he did, and he said this role will always be yours when as we go forward, and then we found ourselves on Broadway, and I think he probably had doubts about casting me in it at that point. But he made, I didn't say you promised or anything, but at one point during the run of it, he said, I did make you that promise. And I thought, do you regret it? I don't know. I don't.
Are we changing our tune, Brian?
Yeah.
Right.
Second thoughts.
No. Now, Harriet, you've done so much TV. Well, for example, I know Felicia in Desperate Housewives, and there you are. Oh my. Oh, Nicolette Sheridan. Is that Nicolette Sheridan?
Yes, I don't think you really noticed me at all because
I know.
I think there's a lot going on in that photo.
No, you're brilliant in everything that you do, and I know you did Ratchet, right? You were in Ratchet.
Just what?
You're in Ratchet. Is it there?
Yes.
Look at you. Oh my God, isn't that fantastic? What a great creation. But the one that I was so fascinated by was Phantom Thread, Barbara Rose.
Yeah.
Now, was there, look at her. Oh my God. Was that based on the heiress, Barbara Hutton?
I think it was. I mean, I don't look at all like her, so I don't think it was an important thing but that's when I was thinking about the part, that's who I thought of. I don't know. Paul never said this is, Barbara Hutton, but that's who I was thinking about. And
do you know about Barbara Hutton's story, Edward?
Which Barbara Hutton story?
The heiress who had a rather tragic end. Yes. I mean, and she was rather humiliated by her lovers and whatnot, and wasn't she? I mean,
rather a good film about her, which I think Julianne Moore did.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yes.
Oh, well, if any of our viewers know more, we'd love to know. But it's a kind of sad story, and but you did a brilliant job in The Phantom Thread. And how I know you're in like 4 or 5 different scenes, but it's, as many reviewers have said, Harriet, it's kind of the Barbara Rose character does haunt the film. She really does.
I think that because she's such a disturbance to them, I think it helps unify their duo, and so they're things that creep in and out of commerce and trying to be artistic and wanting the creativity of somebody else, but feeling like you're in control of it because you're paying for it, and that you own their creativity and that you are responsible for creating them. That's her creation, is that she brought him to prominence. So, but I thought that was a really interesting idea. Paul's movies are just fantastic. I'm a huge fan of his, and I thought whoever he had in mind, and why I thought of Barbara Rose is that Barbara Hutton, is that she just didn't protect herself.
No,
she didn't. She really put it all out there and had the protection of her money, but emotionally she didn't know how to protect herself.
Yeah.
But she could buy herself out of situations, but not really. It took a toll. Every piece took, every person took a piece of her.
What do you think that, people keep talking about now that the pandemic is we're sort of getting better, and, people have not been very fashion conscious. Do we think that there'll be a resurgence of people dressing up or whatever, or are people so comfortable now in their sweatpants?
I think people tend to want to return to whatever the normal was. I think there's so many things that are going on now that make you question what normal should be, or what is desirable. So, if we have a chance to start again, will we go back to really bad habits, or will we really try to, be smarter? It's like when the first time you go on a big trip, maybe you take tons and tons and tons of stuff because you think you need it. And then you can figure out how much do you need. And we could be traveling lighter and smarter. But that doesn't mean you don't have to look good. So certainly you look good, Julie. And I'm sure
it was very interesting. And Edward and I have actually talked about this. The minute the pandemic started, I was like, I'm buying more eyelashes. And then I got a sponsorship from Ardell, and they provide me with wispies. Yes, darling. Yes. The Ardell company has given me a year's supply of wispies. I haven't used them up yet. They're so fantastic. So, and I decided, isn't that great? And, and we have these darling mugs, darling, Julie Halston, we have merch. We have merch, Harriet. But I think I'm going to go even further. It's like, I can't wait to, every day I dress up every day. And I really think it has helped me get through the pandemic. I really do. I put full makeup on. I put glitter and be gay is what I say. And if you're at all interested in us, or even if you're not, please consider tipping. Please consider tipping us. It's PayPal and Venmo. There we are. And we give a portion to the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation. And we're so, oh my goodness, I can't tell you guys, I have such loyal viewers, and they've been so generous. They've just been amazing. Now, Edward, darling, your voice, you've done voice work. You have such a plummy, wonderful voice. You did Zazu. Was it Zazu in the
Yes, I did. He wasn't so plummy. There was Zazu in part 1.5 and part 2. They kept doing rerun sequels of it and all that. And then I was Evil the Cat in Earthworm Jim, which I rather loved.
Oh, okay.
Who was going to destroy the planet Heck with his acid furballs, which meant I got I got to chew the scenery up and never have to shave because it's audio.
Yes, and you enjoy doing voice work.
I do actually, yes.
Well, it would be so amazing. But Edward, I mean, if anyone in New York, if you ask anyone in New York, oh, what is Edward Hibbard known for? People are going to say, oh, he's hysterical. He's hilarious. He's just one of the funniest human beings ever. And of course, you were in Curtains. I think we have a picture of you in Curtains with David Hyde Pierce again.
Indeed. Yes.
And wow. What are you doing with a cowboy hat?
Oh, that was spectacular finale in which I wore a Stetson and full leather.
Well, now there is that, isn't there?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. That should garner a tip. That should garner a tip. Stetson and full leather. And also, you, of course, were in The Drowsy Chaperone.
I was.
Yes. And you were, Belle, there you are again. There you are. You are Mr. Broadway musical. But darling, you were classically trained. Is there a dramatic role that you played that you are very proud of, or that you would like to play? And you
Well,
haven't
I'll
got.
tell you, I never really thought about having a career in musicals. So it's ironic, I've been in about 3 or 4 of them. I would say being Oscar Wilde in the play Gross Indecency, which Moises Kaufman put together, was a very satisfying and emotionally very nourishing experience. Because it
Yes.
followed him through the 3 transcripts of his trials.
Yes. And Harriet, is there a role that you haven't done yet that you're like, why haven't they asked me to do this one yet? I want to do this one.
I would like to play a Bond villain, but I know that is not in my future. But that would be a dream, to be a Bond villain.
Oh, okay.
That I
Well,
think
how
would
can
be
you make this
fantastic.
happen?
I don't know, Julie. Maybe you can work on it.
I was going to say, I might have to make it happen,
You
darling.
probably know some people.
I do know some people. I'm going to ask Jim to come back in because I know he has some questions for you. Jim, where are you, darling? Can you come? There he is. He's come.
Well, okay, so the Bond villain just threw me for a loop. I love that. For the wardrobe alone.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Listen.
so chic.
Judi Dench can be, the head of M or whatever.
Yeah.
You can play a Bond villain. It's
I never
perfect.
wanted to be a Bond girl, which I think is just bizarre because some people do want that, but no. I always wanted to be the Bond villain.
Well, maybe Julie can be the Bond girl and you can be the Bond villain.
No.
Edward can be Bond.
Bond.
Edward could. That's a great idea, people.
Oh God, it would be.
Okay,
we could do a Zoom reading.
We could do a Zoom
But
meeting.
only on Zoom.
Yeah, but I have to have better internet because I'm still. This is just.
Yeah.
Harriet, your internet is perfection now.
Oh, good.
Now,
And Jim, what would you play? What would you play?
I would play the wacky next door neighbor.
Yeah.
That trips over the sofa.
No, the Ruby would be the Bond girl, and I would play
Miss
the
Moneypenny.
lesbian. I would play the lesbian mother of the Bond girl.
Oh.
And Harriet would play the Bond villain, and Edward, you could be Bond.
I think this has money written all over it.
I think so too. I think so too.
I have a question for both of you. First of all, Harriet, Julie told me you have or are a little obsessed with birds. Is that correct? You like a bird?
Parrot. I do have a parrot.
Oh, you have a parrot.
And I do take care of him. So
Well, I'm sure you do
I guess
beautifully.
Yeah, I don't.
How did your
something
interest
else.
in birds and the aviary world?
My grandmother had a parrot, not when I was born, but there was lots of parrot lore in the family, and the parrot hated everybody except my grandmother, and that's unusual because most people did have a problem with my grandmother. And so I thought, I thought, oh, that's loyalty. I don't know what possessed me. And then once she was married, and my grandfather would be out in the yard, like with tomatoes or something, doing something in the garden. And then the parrot would go, oh, Rob. And he'd go, yes, Angel. And then he'd run into the house and the parrot would go.
Oh my God.
And the parrot didn't live that much longer after that. But
I think the parrot sounds like a Bond villain.
That's a little.
base it on that.
It's kind of terrifying.
And then the other thing he would do is when my grandfather was a lawyer, and he would talk on the phone with clients, and the parrot would go, Rob, get off the phone.
And did he have to say, "Oh, it's my bird"? That doesn't sound good.
I thought that maybe a parrot would do that, but no, he just says, and it's very sweet. He says, "I love you." He says a whole lot of things.
He
And
does.
occasionally he will quote something that we've done, some show. But
Matt,
he's a lot of fun.
It's a
Does the
musical
parrot-
theater parrot.
Yeah. Edward is not so fond of our parrot, and I just don't know. I don't think Edward is, he's not going to be swayed so easily by a bunch of feathers.
Edward, are you frightened? Is it a frightening thing for
I
you?
think it
Because I'm
might
a
be-
little scared of
Is
birds.
it ornophobia? Is that the term for somebody? I mean, I think of Tippi Hedren in that movie, and the flapping sounds. I'm not a huge fan, but I do adore Harriet and Matt, and they simply love that bird. So who am I to
No,
be
absolutely.
unsupportive of it?
I love it. Are parrots kind? Are they sweet pets to have?
They are, but they don't. They will only occasionally court you, But he does, he'll say, "Come over here, give me a kiss," or he'll do this with his head and wants you to scratch it. And he lets you know what he wants. He asks for certain foods.
Okay.
He says when it's time to go to bed. But
Wow.
are they really like cuddly? Very few parrots are. No, I won't say that. We did have another parrot that really was, but he's gone.
The cuddly parrot.
Yeah. But this parrot
Sounds like a children's book.
He really just says, "Look, it's enough that I love you." I think that's his attitude.
So he just doesn't suffer fools. I like
Nobody gets it all.
Oh, that's the name of Harriet's book. That's the name of Harriet's book. Nobody gets it all.
Nobody gets it all.
that. Edward, my favorite moment that we've ever had together is when you and I were at Joe Allen, which is, I love starting any sentence like that. And you were talking to me about the title of your upcoming nightclub act.
Was that the title I finally used, or was it a different title?
I believe it was the one you finally used.
Can something be done? And why I came up with that was I went to see an ill-fated musical at the National Theatre about that doomed actress Jean Seberg. And in the second half, there was a number where Jean Seberg was tranquilized in a mental home. And the chorus all came out doing strange dances, with hypodermics and all that. And a woman in front of me in a felt hat started thrashing her head around, and she leapt to her feet and with Wagnerian crescendo said, "Can't something be done?" And I thought, there's a title for a show. I did have another title, Jim, which we talked about.
Yes. Which was?
It's a little controversial. Mein Kampf.
I would steer away from that.
I'm going to. But the shoe shop in East Hampton who said, "I must go a little larger. You have a very high arch." I thought, there's a title.
No
Eddie
kidding.
Hibbard's High Arch, and the sequel will be Fallen Arch.
Sometimes the titles are better than the show. I mean,
Yes,
this
it's
is
true.
But let me just say this, because I saw your Noel Coward show, Edward, and it was so brilliant. And I really do believe when this pandemic is really, really, under control and possibly over, you must bring it back. And you could go to Birdland and bring it back, and we will all be there with bells on. And at the very end, we'll all stand up and say, "Can something be done?"
And it's Birdland, so Harriet will like it because she loves
By the way,
birds.
I love that
That's
new
right.
space downstairs, Jim. It's lovely.
Oh, it's so nice,
The
isn't it?
proscenium arch. Gorgeous.
It really,
I love it too.
that would be so heavenly. And I have to say, I know we had some issues, Harriet, with tech stuff. Although we got some wonderful Maggie Smith and Elaine Stritch stories while you were teching away. But this was so much fun. I mean, I must say, for us to speak to you both, I mean, I hope you had fun. This is so great for us to see you. I mean, it's really been hard not to be able to just see people in person, have a meal at Joe Allen's. We've had to do a million
That's the sad
Zoom
thing
meetings.
about this. One longs to sit down now and have a little snack and a cocktail. Of course, we're all miles away from each other. Well, we're not, but darling Harriet is.
Yes,
But everyone
yes.
were talking about that yesterday. Like, what do you think the show's going to be like? And I said, well, we're going to have fun because it's Jim, it's Julie, it's good. You know, it will be like being with them. So there's not going to be any anxiety about it.
No, there's no anxiety.
I don't have to mess with my phone and my internet and shut the whole thing down.
No, it's all
when I'm
there.
in person. But
Now, Harriet, is there anything that's upcoming for you that we should know about?
Yes. Are you sorry you asked?
Not at all.
I'm in a movie that is because you're geo-blocked. Right now, you can only see it in California. It's at the Santa Barbara International Film Festival. So it's not so international because it's geo-blocked. But it's part of that because this is the U.S. premiere. But it's a wonderful movie called Baby, directed by Juanma Bajo Ulloa, and it's just great. And there's no language, there's no words. And then the other thing I'm doing is starting on this Sunday, Masterpiece Theater. It's called Atlantic Crossing, and I play Eleanor Roosevelt, the opposite, the antithesis of the Bond villain. But I have the right teeth. That's why I keep getting cast as Eleanor Roosevelt. It's the teeth.
Oh, my God.
I know, this is fantastic.
Okay, I'm tuning into both of those. Edward, what's coming up?
No
At the
Coward, I'm
moment-
telling you.
At the moment, oddly nothing. He says
High
in the
Arch.
voice. High Arch is being
High
thought
Arch.
about. No, nothing at the moment.
Can something be done?
Can something be done?
People,
Yes.
it's happening.
Well,
No,
the
you
stuff
know
I
what?
did, I
Things-
did before the pandemic, so it's been nothing. But this
Right.
was
Not
all
been my
thought
favorite,
before the
yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah.
No.
No, things are starting to open up, guys. I'm telling you, things are getting better. I know this for a fact. Things are getting better. So
I hope you're right.
yes. Hopefully in the next couple of months, I'll actually be able to see you all in person, maybe at Bar Central or Joe Allen.
I don't think so, but somewhere I hope. And so
But
Somewhere.
Joe's.
Yeah,
We'll
maybe
meet at
Park
Joe's.
Avenue.
We'll talk about, that's what this feels like. These conversations on Julie's show it does feel like a great night at Joe's.
But I can't bear going by that, empty restaurant now. It's so sad. There's no Joe Allen's, there's no Orso, there's no Bar Central.
I know.
And I'm not sure we're going to get them back, which is even more heartbreaking.
Oh, I think we'll get Joe's back for sure.
I think we'll get Joe's back as well. I really do.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Well, I just want to remind our viewers, if you've enjoyed the show, please feel free to tip us at a Venmo and PayPal, and also to remind. There we go. Thank you so much, and to remind our viewers, next week is going to be our final show for a little while as I go on hiatus. I'm playing the Stockard Channing role, by the way. I'm playing the diva. I don't understand why they cast me as the diva. Can you understand why? I can't understand it. But anyway, so I'll be doing that until mid-May, and then we will return. So please tune in next week. And we loved seeing Edward Hibbard and Harriet Harris, two of my favorite performers on planet Earth, superior talent, superior humans. And I think we have an ad for next week because it's just going to be you, me, and Ruby, and our favorite moments.
So, and you guys at home, write in your favorite moments of the show of Virtual Halston.
And send to my email, julielhalston@gmail.com. There we are. And we will replay some of our favorite moments. Jim, we've done something like 41 shows. It's just been incredible. So
congratulations.
Yeah, well, congratulations to all of us. So thank you so much, Edward. I love you. Hopefully I'll see you on 9th Avenue.
I hope so.
And Harriet, I'll see you on the screen, and hopefully in person within the next 6 months, maybe.
Yes, I'd love that.
All
I'm
right.
feeling that now that I've finally gotten connected to the platform, I won't be able to disconnect.
All right. Well, that's fine.
was
Somebody
perfection.
call me and get me out of the loop afterwards.
I will. I have all your info. I'll call you. All right. Thank you,
God
guys.
bless. Thank you.
Thank you, darlings.
What more is there to say?